It's cold. It's real fucking cold. Did you know that? It was so warm and so humid just a few fucking days ago. Like literally just, I don't know, like a week ago. It was actually like legitimately kind of hot a couple days. Now, it is fucking cold as a motherfucker once again. You live? What's up, Perseus? Well, they say they live. It's cold because you haven't accepted the warm embrace of our Lord and Savior. My bad. My bad. Where can I find him at? Where is Jesus right now? Is he in the room with us? Whew. Woo-wee. This lighter feels like it's like 45 degrees. I opened a Bible and instantly felt warmer knowing I'm loved by God. Yeah, well, it tends to have that kind of effect. Yeah. Early morning? I'm always up early. I work from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so I'm always up early. But yeah, I think for a Saturday, it's a pretty early stream, that's for sure. And sometimes I do sleep in more than I did today. Damn it, what the fuck happened to my... There it is. I missed the last stream because I was out playing poker with some friends. I lost 200 pounds. Well, good job on losing 200 pounds. At least you probably had fun. You probably had fun, and that's good. Let's see if this smokes. It's one of those gas station blunts, so let's see. Don't smoke. Can you top? Are you my fucking mom? Are you my fucking mom? Are you my fucking dad? Are you anything to me besides a random internet person? If the answer is no, then fucking stop with your shit. I don't know. I think my bangs look okay. They're a little uneven and fucked up, but what are you gonna do? I did have fun because I made up for it on the next game of blackjack where I won my money back and then made another 100 pound on top of that. So you're saying you got enough money to super chat is what you're telling me? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, like the stream. Every single time you like the stream, that is another chance for the stream to get recommended in someone else's algorithm. Every time the stream gets recommended in someone else's algorithm, that's another chance for the channel to grow even more and for us to have a more interesting conversation in here. And that, after all, is what we are trying to do. What kind of LGBTQ are you? All the kinds. I am every letter. No. I just kind of call myself queer. because I think it's a good overall descriptor, but I would say that I'm like bisexual and trans or pansexual. I don't know. I've never liked pansexual as a label personally, but the fun kind, yeah, exactly. I'm the fun kind. I'm actually the L variant of the LGBTQ species. Nice. Nice. I specced into the girl branch, as one does. I got news for you, Nathan. All words are made up. What do you think? Certain words were given to us by God or some shit? It'd be kind of hard considering there's not a God. You are made up. 60% of American adults cannot read at or below a fourth grade level. They can't read above a fourth grade level. That is proof of it. That right there was proof of it. I am issuing a challenge to everyone watching right now besides Perseus. Type something in my chat that's legible and interesting so that we can start having a conversation. Because right now, I am supremely unimpressed by your performance. Supremely. American Literacy Challenge, level impossible. I know. I fucking know. Trust me, bro. I have to live here. I have to live in this shit. And bear in mind that I live in a state that up until about 10 years ago, well, actually, no, up until about 5 years ago, for being honest, like 10 years ago, the state I live in was like 51st in terms of education. People will say, well, the United States doesn't have 51 states. How can it be 51st? We were beaten by Puerto Rico. That's how. They're not even a state. They're a territory. But we were beaten by them. Legible and interesting. Well, Perseus, you've got a buff on all these people. That's the problem. That's the problem with these mod heavy chats, is that you guys all have a buff. You guys are all reasonably intelligent people that I've been able to vet through your continued participation in these chats. A lot of these people just don't have that going for them, sadly. Sometimes these morning streams are not the ones that pop off. I'll let you know that. It's weird, but for whatever reason, these morning streams can sometimes be a little hard. Sometimes it's difficult to get these up and running and up and going. But things are starting to bloom now, so maybe we should set up down somewhere by some nature. That'd be cool. Made myself a nice coffee this morning. Do you reckon familial wealth is proportional to one's intelligence? In theory, richer equals easier access to learning facilities? No. In fact, I think it's the opposite way. And if you listen to a lot of sociologists, that appears to be the truth. It there's this saying, I can't remember what sociologist or anthropologist or whoever it was that said it, but um, it is likely that the cure for cancer has been lost multiple times over in some cotton field down south. Um, and that sort of sentiment has been shared as early as the 60s. Um, there are profoundly intelligent people littered throughout all social classes. But if there is a correlation, I think it's actually the opposite. And the reason I think that is because if you are born into wealth, then it takes active effort from your parents. Is Elon Musk smart? I think Elon Musk is a nerd on certain things. That does not make him smart. I think it's clear that he's not fucking smart by the fact that he thinks that it's a responsible thing to do to go into the IRS and the state and the fucking uh, the bureaucratic machine of our government with a bunch of teenagers deleting shit, modifying shit, making this country function even worse for working class people. I think that alone makes it clear that he's not a smart guy. He's a nerdy guy about certain things. And I can relate to that because I'm a nerdy girl about certain things, but I wouldn't call myself like a super smart chick. I think I'm pretty average intelligence, you know? Like, the only reason I sound smarter to certain people is because there are some people who are unused to hearing people who are good at talking. That's it. That's all I got. I'm slightly more capable with language than your average fuck, and that gives me the ability to sound more intelligent than I am, but I recognize that I'm of average intelligence, right? But I have met people, most of them working class in some way, who were so intelligent that it beggared belief. I mean, my sister was raised pretty much every bit as poor as I was, and she's a fucking school teacher. Now, granted, that same sister also had a lot of support from a wealthy family member of ours, but that wealthy family member was not born into wealth. That wealthy family member got to that position. And this is how I know that there are some people who we would consider, and I mean, she's not wealthy in terms of like, she's not bourgeoisie wealthy, I wouldn't say. She's not part of the ownership class, you know? But she is really wealthy by, you know, Southern standards. And she worked her way up to that position. She went to college to be what is it called? A certified personal accountant? Yeah, a CPA. She went to college to be a CPA. She ended up getting a job with a major shipping company, and she's still at that major shipping company to this day. I think she does HR for him now. I think she's like a like payroll team or something. I don't remember, but she's like fucking pretty high up in that organization as far as her salary goes and everything, and that's something that she was able to work towards. But it's also not the kind of wealth that people are usually talking about when they talk about severe wealth. When they talk about extreme wealth, they're not talking about people like my aunt. They're talking about people like Jeff Bezos. They're talking about people like Bill Gates. They're talking about people like Musk. They're talking about people with enough money to crash the world economy. They're talking about people with enough money to buy a small island for themselves, or buy an entire chain of small islands for themselves. Girl at work right now. Oh, nice. Well, have a good night. Have a good day at work. I see. I feel I'm only smart because my family sent me to several private schools and private tutors. But did you ever get to experience the public school systems in areas where you lived? Because a lot of that, I will tell you, a lot of people's success at public school comes down to their parents' willingness to work with those schools. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I'm a product of that. If I'm at all smarter than the average American, it is a result of my parents' involvement and mostly my mother's involvement and the public school systems of Mississippi and Missouri. So that goes to show you they can be successful. And I did learn quite a lot in school. Now, how useful was all of that? I don't know. I think you have to give kids a huge base of general knowledge because this is a really complex society we live in. But Did I learn? Hell yeah. Now, there were definitely criticisms I have of school. There's a bunch of criticisms I have of the American school system, but our public school system suffers from being very vulnerable to a lack of parental care, if that makes sense. Good morning, precious people. Good morning, people. Well, good morning, Andrew. Thank you so much. Welcome in. What's up? What's up? What's up? By the way, guys, I am almost close to being able to withdraw from my YouTube earnings already. I'm at 80 right now, I think. So with 25 more, I can start withdrawing. Jeff Bezos is like, Elon, he isn't smart. He just hired smart people. The only person out of the guys you mentioned I respect is Bill Gates. Also, I went to a public school for a little bit. Okay, so you did get some experience with the public school system. So you might have some criticisms of it yourself. I'm of the opinion that a lot of it is parent-driven. Like, if you set your kid up to be successful in school, I think they more often than not are. But the school system isn't going to help you to make up for those deficits if you don't. Just waking up, well, I'm sure a lot of people on the West Coast are, honestly. A lot of people on the West Coast are just starting to wake up right now. So what is it, 10:24? Yeah. It's 8:30. Yeah. I went to a Texas school, so my education is way different than other Americans. That's weird. That's weird to think about, honestly. But I guess you're right. It would be, huh? It's fucking schmooky in here. Oh my god. Can y'all not bring this Discord drama shit to the chat, please? If y'all don't quit it right now, I'm going to do something that nobody is going to like. We're going to hash this out live on the internet. And I will be the mediator. Fun fact, my dad wanted to make sure I didn't have a Chinglish accent and specifically requested I have a British private tutor. What the fuck? Whoa, that's a fucking paragraph, bro. I'm literally being respectful. She's not. I'm just saying, here's the thing. Gemma, you ain't gotta be mean. Andrew, you ain't gotta respond. Like King Solomon, I think y'all both being dicks. A little bit. Not really dicks, maybe. I think Gemma is a hot-headed person that is very reactive to other people, and she's what we would call a bit of a spitfire, which I like personally, and I think, Andrew, you probably could see some utility in that too if you thought about it, right? You could probably see how someone who is really brazen about the things that they feel and just says how they feel right out of their mouth, right? You can see why that has a place in our world, right? You can see where that has a place in activism, in government action, in making things better for the people. You can see where that's making arguments against Nazis. There are uses for that kind of energy, really good uses for that kind of for that kind of whiplash, right? And Andrew, you are a really wonderful, kind person, but you are a little, like, the fact that you are as emotionally tuned in as you are makes you a little bit sensitive sometimes, and I think that you're more willing to respond to trolling and but to take it personally as well, which is like I respond to trolling too. But one thing about me is like anytime somebody comes on here, I mean, you see the types of stuff people say to me, Andrew. People say the most awful shit in here. They will say the most unhinged shit you've ever seen, and I've literally never thought about a hater twice, and while I think it would be great if you and Gemma could be friends, I think that that's probably not going to happen at this point. And if you need to look at her as like, oh, she's just being a hater, I don't have to give that my energy, that would be probably better for your mental health on a day-to-day basis. But not just with Gemma, but with people in general, because if it's happening with her, I'm sure it's happened with other people. And the fact of it is, when people are just snapping at you, a lot of times that is more reflective of how they feel on the inside about something that's going on in their own life than it is anything you're actually doing, you know? Yeah, I would prefer it if people didn't air out their laundry either. Like, Gemma, why did you say that? Like, we were all being so, like, it was chill. Like, I get it. Was that like an unwarranted response to what was from you just a little bit of rizzing, meaning what happened in the Discord? Yes, I think that that was a way out of scale response, because you don't like there's like it's not like Gemma's got a gun to your head. It's not like she can force you to care, like you don't have to give her that kind of energy. You don't even have to read her chats. I mean, and you can also respond in as condescending a manner as you want. Like that's one of the things about the Discord. You notice, like, it never says no arguing. That's not one of the rules. No arguing is not one of the rules. Like, I invite you guys to get as vitriolic as you want to at each other, because it sounds like there's some like friction that needs to be worked out. But Andrew, you seriously don't have to give her that energy. That is taxing on your mental health. And I know if you're doing it with her, you're doing it with other people. And I'm not judging you for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on you, dude. I'm just saying that you would be better off not focusing so heavy on that, because it hurts you more than it helps. See, I told you guys wouldn't like this. I told y'all that this was not like, and this is one of those situations, dude, where it takes two to tango. God damn, dude. Some human psychology just happened right here live on the internet in front of all of us. Some human psychology just took place. Well, whatever. I want you guys to know that I'm not mad at you. I don't, like, it's fine. It's whatever. This is a small enough community where I can become invested in little, like, sub-dramas. So, I've never been good with emotions. I don't think I could have mediated that. Well, do you think I did a good job? Because, I don't know. Andrew seems like he might be mad at me. And, Gemma seems like she might be mad at me, so. But whatever. You know? With King Solomon, he had a baby that he was going to cut in half so that both women could have one half. And you know what? That story don't make no goddamn sense. Can I just say that story makes no fucking sense? Because in the story, the other lady's like, all right. And then the mother is like all fucking bent out of shape about it. Like, she's like, no, just give her the other baby. And that's how Solomon decides. But I'm like, the focus is that you can tell it's the woman who actually had the baby and whose baby it actually is, because she volunteers to give up her claim so that the baby doesn't die, basically. But there's a flaw in that story, which is that unless you lucked out with a total sociopath, both women are probably gonna like give up their claim at once. Like, that is a fucking nonsensical story. I'm not mad at you, Phoebes? Okay, good. Because I wasn't mad at you guys. I just, like I said, this is a small enough community that I can mediate things like this, and I've been told I'm alright at it, so might as well try. Oh. So the doorknob on our door broke. I'm not religious, but I've noticed certain coincidences in my life. Expound. Mostly that if I want something, I'd get an opportunity to get that thing within an hour or two of me thinking about it. I mean, you also come from a wealthy family, though. Like, is that really a coincidence if you've got the, more money means more access to resources, more access to do things, and all that means more connections, means more opportunities just by itself of all kinds. The other opportunities probably don't get noted as much because they're not, something that you're looking for specifically. Yeah, but it's uncanny. Like, in what way? This is what I meant when I said expound. I want to hear a write-up on this whole fucking belief of yours. Now that I've got a decent pair of shoes, wearing my cheaper pair of shoes for cruise actually kind of hurts my fucking feet now. So, our door handle fell off. So I removed the screws, but here's what I'm wondering, right? Is this thing still moves? So what I'm thinking is, can I use this like an opener to get in and out? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Okay. All right. So it's in there. You see, it's intersecting with those holes. Okay. Let's see if this works. My drink. Let's just do that. And then boom. Ah, hell yeah. And we just take the knob off so that we can use it to get back in. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Broken knob ain't a problem unless you gotta lock the damn door. Then it's a problem, but otherwise, you just leave the knob there. And now, I've got a door opener. Dude, I'm so glad I fucking thought of that. So normally, I feed in the evenings, but I'm going to go ahead and feed this morning because I'm up and I'm home. And it's a good way to enjoy some nature. So I'll set you guys up in the hallway and we can have a little chat. Oh man, look at this mud. Gross. See, I'm just gonna do that and that and that and that and that and that. Okay. Gobble gobble gobble. That was kind of my thought too, but that's something to expound because there's got to be more to this, right? Because Percy isn't class unaware. They say some class unaware things, but I usually think they're aware of how unaware it is. E.g., man, I want a beer. Friend calls me up an hour or so later asking if I want to drink at his house and play poker. Yeah, but see, that's not that big a coincidence. It feels like a coincidence because you have borderline character syndrome, which is fine. I personally do too. I find fellow travelers pretty interesting and funny, but it is a fact. And it's something to deal with. Somebody about E.g., I wanted a nice pair of boots and thought about buying them the next day they were on sale. My friend never calls me up to drink at his house. I have to pin his schedule down and corner him into having a day off. I guess that is a little bit of a coincidence, yeah. Yeah, shit goes on sale all the time. I mean, it does go on. Percy she is right. Shit does go on sale all the time. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, did you look up to see if there were any holidays going on or anything like that? Or like, was it a store that you normally go to? Because maybe it's, like, maybe that's just the day that they changed their ad, you know? Because I know, I used to work at Office Max, and I think we had a pretty weird day of the week that we changed ad. I think it was Tuesdays. No. Motherfuckers, get out of the way, bro. What's the name? What do you mean? Bro, ducks are weird. The fuck? No. Sorry. I dropped you guys. A coincidence is like having the feeling that someone close to you died and then finding out your old art teacher died. Yeah. I mean, I would say that what Perseus is saying also qualifies as a coincidence, but that's not... I don't know. To me, it's not eerie. Does that make sense? To me, it doesn't carry with it any eeriness. Look at that. A piece of the milling process that survived all the different stages. That's so weird. Anyway. Yeah. How do you do it? We'll get some scraps later, and that'll be a pretty good day. It's nice to have money. Not a lot of money, but enough money to make sure I'm buying more than enough feed. Not just a maintenance diet anymore. It's a growing diet. Whew. Feels good. Man, can I just tell you guys, my job has been going so good. I mean, there was a few hiccups. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. Hiccups. But it's been going great. I've gotten 4 paychecks from there and I've made over $2,000. Which for me, I know that's like the bottom of the fucking pay grade for a lot of people who are in decent jobs or whatever, but that's for somebody who's been making like max $14,000 a year my entire life, like max. That is fucking huge. I'm basically making double what I used to make every year. And it is wild. And it's not even wild because I've been buying a lot of luxury goods. It's wild because I've been able to catch up on my bills, like make big chunks on shit and catch up on shit. And now actually fucking getting close to being caught up with everything. By the time my birthday rolls around, I will have a bank account again. I'll have started paying on the car that I'm buying. It's just crazy how much shit can change with just a little bit of refiguring in your life. Does that make sense? My job is also going good. Out of curiosity, how much have you made off this channel yet? Like 64 as of the last time I checked the numbers. Like $64. So, not much. But I did get $15 in super chats yesterday, which would be like 80. So. That's enough to buy an Xbox game. Well, like I said, I've been catching up on a lot of stuff that needed caught up on, so probably won't be using it to get anything like super fun for at least a little bit, but still. Okay. So I need to make some kind of hay rack for our goats. Because we have some goats, and I have an idea for how I might possibly make a hay rack, but I don't know if it's a good idea. So I've got this old tomato cage, and from what I understand, talking to my dad this year, we are not going to be using tomato cages anymore. We're going to be staking them up, and just staking them up. And we might use other supports, but we're mostly just going to be using stakes. So this tomato cage is now effectively useless for its original purpose, which makes me think, hay cage. My question is, would this work as a hay cage? My thoughts are yes, because it looks like the spacing is wide enough for even the mama's head to fit in. Are you going to demonstrate for me? No? Okay. I feel like if I set it like... Ooh, maybe on one of these blocks over here? I'll just scrape them off, but maybe we could do that. And maybe if I place a couple of blocks on the other side, that'll hold it down. Let's see if that works. Oh, wee. Okay. I've seen people just kind of tie a hay bale up with string and shit. You can get a Roomba and plop the hay on top of that. They can work out and give that at the same time. Oh, Princess. You are goofy as a motherfucker. But the beautiful thing about you is that I don't even think you recognize or realize that you're goofy. So you just be saying shit. And it don't have to make no goddamn sense. But I love that. Anyway, you can't run a Roomba in hidden territory. It's not even ground. But they do have what I call yard Roombas. What? Oh, they have what I call yard Roombas, which are lawnmowers. Automatic lawnmowers. Or like automated lawnmowers, I mean. Okay. I should really be showing you guys this process. You might think it's fun. Okay. I can tell guineas are up on the roof. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. There we go. That's actually perfect. I'll send you a picture of one on Discord. You could get one of those cat-themed automatic serving robots you see in Asian restaurants, put hay in that, and then get them to run around chasing it. Unfortunately, herbivores aren't good about chasing. You have to remember, chase instinct is a predatory drive. But I could try it, I guess. We could always try it. This is just the spot that I'm putting the block on, but I don't want it to slip and slide down. So just go ahead and scrape the hole to give myself a nice flat and even surface to set this brick on. Okay. I think that should hold, actually. Yeah, I mean, it just wants to lock itself more in place the more I move it, so that's good. It's redneck engineering at its finest. You know what? That's what we excel at here, folks. Now let's see if it works. Probably have to separate the flake up into multiple pieces. But if it works, this would be our fancy new way of getting the goats fresh hay. It stays dry. Oh no, I can't lean on this thing. It's not a structure. There we go. There should be plenty of hay. You go, we're about to open well. Good day, Gemma. But yeah, now we've got a little hay cage that the goats can get into. The idea being that as they eat at the lower parts, the higher parts come up. We'll see how it happens. We'll see how it goes. I'm probably going to come out here in 2 days and find one of them wearing it on their head, but we'll see. It looks like that turkey has a little horn on his head whenever his little snood is all, held tightly in. Yeah, Perseus. I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. Think we're alone now. Oh, Lord have mercy. Kind of get an idea of how deep the water table is were readily available, and where a lot of like geographical information and shit just wasn't widely available either. And as a result, this barn was built in a place that it probably should not have been built. It's built in, I don't know what I have no idea what the ecological term is for the area where the barn and like most of our pasturage is, but it's like a swamp basically. I don't know how else to put it. It's a place where there's just a lot of, like, there's a creek down the way from us a little bit, and like there's a little stream that leads out from a couple of our ponds that goes into the woods, and the fact that it goes into the woods and meanders through there the way it does tells me that in the years before this was settled widely by human beings, there were a bunch of seasonal fens and bogs and shit that would rise and fall, and when they would overflow, they would flow through a little stream into the creek. And when the water table was extra high because of a lot of rainfall in areas uphill, or a lot of rainfall in areas that feed this aquifer, then they would once again overflow into that stream, slowly but surely making their way into that creek. And because the land has been modified now, the water doesn't have, I think, the same tendency to flow, right? And long story short, I think that if we really wanted to solve the problems of everything being so fucking wet, basically, I don't know how we would do it. And so basically the only solution me and my dad, who we kind of were running the like farm side of things as a team, and the discussions we've been having have been mostly about just relocating things because it's just so wet. It's so fucking wet. There are places though on the property, and places that aren't like a 30-second walk from where I'm standing right now if there weren't any walls. There are places on this farm that would be fine, that don't have the same drainage problems. They're like areas of there are areas of the farm that pretty much stay dry, and areas that pretty much stay wet. And the water table being so high from all these rains and everything has meant that right now the barn is wet, and has been wet for the last like 6 months as the drought has ended. The rains have came. Oh. A swamp, Well, it's too humid. You could stick out a few dehumidifiers to see if it helps. Yeah, I don't think it would help, Perseus. I really don't think it would help. Somehow, I doubt the dehumidifiers are going to have much of an effect. But right now, like, honestly, the problem isn't even humidity. It's groundwater. The problem is excessive groundwater contamination. Like, what's the term when the water is just like standing and not going anywhere? Like, the problem is not. Oh, hell. There's a whole goddamn board broke out of the fucking stable. Yeah, dude, what the fuck? We've been talking about moving this fucking thing, and I think we just need to go ahead and do it. Like, what would be stopping us? I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. It's been fun. It's been chill.